Namaste, beautiful souls. Good morning. Hello. This is Awasi, and I am joining you right now from my kitchen. I'm cooking breakfast, and there's a very simple and yet powerful message that was wanting to come through. This message has actually been coming through for me, and it's something that, as I just stated on my Facebook page, I just went live, it feels like a warm hug. It feels like a soft blanket, like a kiss on the forehead. It's very gentle. It's a gentle reminder, a gentle nudge of acknowledgement, of recognition. And it was presented to me because of where I'm at on my journey. And of course, this is something that I think we can all do with hearing, as a reminder especially, is that we're all exactly where we need to be. You know, just to give you guys a little insight, I was a part of a mentorship that I joined at the end of last year that went into the beginning of this month. And this mentorship was, I love the people. I really did. They are amazing souls, and they are on an amazing journey individually and collectively. But I started to realize, quite literally right after I had joined and I was invested this money, that I maybe had jumped into it a little bit too quickly. There was a lot of things happening around that time. My grandmother was very sick. She actually passed away within the first, month that I had joined. But I knew that I was on this new path, right? I knew that I was meant to be accomplishing more. And I was in this growth phase. And that's something that I'm kind of always in, as we always are. But I was in this new creative part of my growth phase. And I didn't quite know what I was creating or what I wanted to create. But I knew that it was going to be grand. And I didn't have the vision hammered down, but I had the desire, right? I had the knowing that I needed to move forward with something. But the interesting part of it is that even being a psychic energy intuitive, even being a pure channel and receiving these messages, my divine team was actually telling me not to jump into something. They were saying, do not make any decisions right now. And what did I do? I made a decision. I made a very big decision because it was a good amount of money. It was quite a bit of money. This is one of those high-ticket affiliate marketing, guarantees $10,000 in 10 days or whatever. And it's great especially for businesses that are selling products. I'm not saying it's not great for healers or those of us that are light workers. It is, if the program and the people are aligned to you. Not if you're aligned to them, if they're aligned to you. And I noticed very quickly that this was not exactly what I wanted. There was a lot of valuable information. A lot. And I got some valuable things from it. But it was starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. I could tell that I was having to force myself more than I wanted to. So within the first month, I already knew that this was not what I needed. But I was trying to stick it out because I had made the decision. I had invested money. And because of the types of mentorships, it's a tier mentorship. So there's 3 levels, and I was paying the least amount, which was still a good chunk of money. And so I wasn't receiving the feedback. I was not receiving the input that I really needed. I had these major questions I needed answered. I needed those that I was paying to give me what I was putting in. I needed that energy back. That's why I was investing. But it appeared that the only ones that got that type of input were those that were paying the top tier amount. That's what they were focused on. They want you to pay the most, $20-something, and then you get them to basically create your business for you. But then again, if there's somebody else creating your business for you, then it's not really your business, is it? I mean, we hire people to invest their knowledge into our business, but if they're doing every aspect of it for you, and I started noticing this, that there was another healer, there was another healer that was a part of this paying the top tier amount that was having everything done for her. And so she was getting to where she didn't really know how to handle the business. She was making really good money, but at what cost? There's always a cost. But that was aligned. That was aligned for her. So I love these people. I truly do. And I'm not saying what I'm saying to down or bash or be negative about this at all, because I really, really respect them. But what they're doing, like I said, it's not what I meant to do. So I asked if I could just pull my payment out, because I had another beautiful soul that entered my stratosphere of my reality that is a fellow coach, a fellow mentor, a healer, a light worker. And he had asked me if I would like to join his club, his little, his group. And this group is much smaller. They're such divine beings. They are so loving. And the beautiful part was I told him, I said, well, I don't know if I have the amount that you're asking. And he said, I'm not worried about that. I want you to focus on you. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know what better words could be said to someone when they're really needing guidance. And this brought me back to what I am, because I was so stuck in this new programming of this new belief system that I was trying to adapt as my own, that I needed to force sales, that I needed to make everyone feel as if they needed to buy from me. It was almost a bullying system, and from my perspective, that yes, sales are being in service, but they're only being in service if that person is really and truly desiring to work with you. If you have to make them feel like they have to work with you, then it's not aligned, and there's not ever going to be a flow. Not ever going to be the flow that really needs to be there. It's going to be a forced agreement, and that's not what I want. That's what I've healed from, right? That's what I've broken free from. That's what I help other people to break free from. So I had to be open and honest with myself and say, okay, there's some unlearning I've got to do. There were some things that I've been working on every single day. A book, an ebook, these mini courses. I mean, I've been pouring time and energy into these things just to not publish them. And it made me realize that there was a reason. And my divine team just came in this past week, and that's why I'm delivering this message, is they told me that you're exactly where you need to be. This was divinely rerouted like a GPS system. My system, my whole guidance, my compass was redirected exactly where it needed to be, because they tried to tell me. They knew that the infinite possibilities, they knew the probability of what I would choose. So they tried to let me know, hey, don't make any decisions, because we know where your energy's at. We know what you're seeking, but if you'll just be patient, it's coming. But see, I had the fear of not being successful. I had the fear of not being able to help people soon enough. So I was trying to force my healing. Well, that's not ever going to get us, anyone, to where they need to be. Because I sure do not want to force healing on anyone that's not ready. And nobody's going to accept healing if they're not ready. So it was, it was something that I had to really sit with. I spent the last 2 weeks in this mode of just releasing the programming of this old mentorship and realigning to what I am. And that means letting go of all the ideas that I really thought were going to be birthed into the world. I thought that I was going to be delivering all these different things to people, that I would be publishing them, and that I went back and read them, and I realized just how forced and how much it was not me. And then I realized, well, I don't want to put something out into the world that is not me. I don't want to offer that. I don't want to ask people to invest their time or energy into that, even if it's free. I don't want them to do that. I wouldn't want that. And if I don't want it, then I don't want other people to have it. Because there are those out there that are looking for the vibration that I'm meant to offer. And that's what needs to come forth. And I say this for all of you. I offer this forth for all of you, to know that you're exactly where you need to be right now. Sometimes we get so attached to the idea of what we think we need to do that we forget to feel ourselves into it. Because the thought is not what creates the reality alone. The feeling is what draws it to us. So if the feeling is not aligned, then we have to literally force the idea into creation, if that's even possible. And if it's not possible, then what are you doing? You're spinning your wheels, your time, your energy, your money, you're just throwing it away. Well, I don't want to say that. Let me back up. I got stopped on that. They were like, nope. Redirect that wording. You're not throwing it away. You're learning from it. But if you were offered, if you listen to your intuition, like I didn't do, if your intuition, if your guides, if your guidance system is trying to tell you, be patient. Allow this moment to happen exactly as it is, and what you are really desiring through your heart, what you're desiring through the feeling is coming. We get very impatient, right? A lot of times, or I won't say a lot of times, I've gotten much better at it over the years, but it still happens. It still happens to me. As you hear now, as you see now, that I got so caught up in the idea and the fear of it just not coming to pass when I wanted it to. Didn't mean it never would. It was always going to, but it has to happen as it is meant to happen. And so I am now in this space, which I used to think was stagnancy, but I now realize that it's the birthing process, right? When women are pregnant, when they're in gestation, when they're creating that human, at first you can't even tell that anything is going on. You're not even aware that a woman is pregnant until after so long. Because there's so much happening under the surface. There's so much happening in the womb. And that's what it is like when we are birthing our ideas into our reality, when we are creating them. We have to honor the gestation period. And the beautiful part about it is, just like what I went through, if you try it, and you think that idea sounds really good at first, and then you start putting some time and energy into it, and then all of a sudden you realize, okay, well, I like this part of the idea, but the rest of it, it doesn't feel right. Then get rid of it. Keep what feels right, and go back into the birthing process. Go back into the creation process. See what feels right, because when the thought and the feeling are aligned, that's where you start experiencing what we call instant manifestation. It's not that it's instant, because you're always manifesting. This is what I was talking about in the last podcast. But that's what it means when you have an aligned action. It means that you are aware of, you're mindful that your thought and the energy of the feeling match. And they match so beautifully, so perfectly, that you can't help but to create it. You can't help but just love it and nurture it and honor it and breathe life into it. It flows effortlessly from you. If you wanted to stop it, you wouldn't be able to. That's surrender. Much different energy than control. Control and force, it never feels good. And so if it doesn't feel good, you don't do it. And so this is going to be a shorter podcast. Quite honestly, I wasn't even planning on recording until early next week. And today is Sunday. I'm hoping I get this released today, but in case it is next week, today is Sunday. But I wanted to remind you all that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And I offer you to look at your life a year ago compared to now. I guarantee that you are exactly or far exceeding where you thought you would be. And if there's areas where you aren't, then that means that you were divinely redirected to be exactly where you did need to be. Whether through challenges or through blessings, you're always exactly where you need to be. And we tend to bring ourselves into some needless suffering when we think otherwise, because the mind, although the mind is our most powerful asset, it can also cripple us a little bit from time to time. Our mind quite literally creates our projection. That's where everything begins. And because the emotions, the energy emotion, are being fed into each one of our sensory receptors, you start with the thought as the blueprint. You have these sensory receptors that come in, and that's like all of the building material. It's what creates the actual material. It's what creates the tangible. It's what brings it into the reality. When the thought and the emotion are a match, when the mind and the heart are married in harmony, then you have the manifestations. You experience the manifestations that you desire. When they're not in harmony, then you're going to have experiences that you don't desire. Either way, you're still creating. Either way, you're still manifesting. But when you manifest what you don't desire, it is your way shower. It is your guidepost. It is your notification that something was not aligned and is out of balance. It is not meant for you to get caught up on, even though that's going to happen. It happens to me. I'm guilty of it. But when you're able to pull yourself away from the attachment to the outcome, whether it's already happened or whether you're just trying to control it or force it into happening, then you can see the beauty of, guess what? You get to choose again. You get to decide again. You get to feel something new and rebirth it. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's how this podcast came to life. If I never would have released what I released, then I would not be speaking to you right now. And I don't put this out there to, my goal has never been to have millions of followers. If that happens, that's fantastic. That means the more people that are hearing the message. But just being able to change one mind or open one mind up to where that one mind can grow and harvest and ascend, that is what I'm here for. I'm here for that one soul that finds resonance with my voice, with my energy. That's the beauty of all this, is we really and honestly do it one mind at a time, and it starts with our own. So again, I am so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to share this message. And like I said, this is a bit of a shorter one today, comparatively speaking. I think the last one was like 40 something minutes. And it's just a general reminder. It's sharing my story and just letting you all know that you are beautiful. You are so beautiful. And I love each of you. I really and truly do. I am sending you all a warm bear hug. I'm sending you all a kiss on the forehead and letting you all know that you're not alone. You're doing great and you're exactly where you need to be. Sometimes that we get kind of caught up in the forgetting, and then we forget that we're here to remember. We chose to forget how powerful we are, but you have the choice to awaken to that. Now, some are not ready. Some are not ready. But for those that are, man, it's an exciting adventure. And I invite you all to step through that door and to awaken yourselves to the remembrance of your creative power, to where every single choice is an opportunity for you to create again. And it's okay if it doesn't work out the way that you thought it should, because you get to choose again. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Do something different. There is no such thing as failure. Failure those are the little building blocks. Those are the little bricks that go into the reality that you're building. That's your construction process. Sometimes we measure a bit off and we have to go back and remeasure again. That's how we get it right. So keep going forward. Honor yourself. Become mindful of your energy so you know what stage you're in. And if there's anything that I can present and bring to you guys that you guys would love to hear me speak about, although these are channeled messages or just general guidance that I receive or my own experiences, that's the best truth I can ever speak from. I'm always open to receive requests. If there's something in terms of spirituality or mindset or trauma healing, anything holographic, manipulation, the quantum healing, collapsing of realities, anything and everything, I can speak on it. I can heal it. I can offer it. Just request. And I will present it from the container of my own experience and what I am given through my own channeling of my higher self. So, I'm going to go finish my breakfast. I love you all so much, and I do hope to see you in the next episode. So, until then, Adonai Vasu, Barakas.